Got it. Oh, this is like having one of those frosty cokes. I did it all the other ones too. I brought good luck this day. Good luck at home. But I was so glad that they won. Because right at the end there was just a little bit of time where it could have gone the other way. So, Michael, was that you on the all call saying the Owls were going to win? And that was at halftime, wasn't it? They were tied. So that was pretty neat. And then they won. Why is she on the phone talking to Jenny? Oh, my goodness. I can't hear you. Just as they get older, they aren't all that interested. Oh, hey, Karen. Oh, you are? Are we already on? Oh, have we said anything bad? Yeah, there you go. Yes, he did a roast.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Order of the meeting of the Mount Healthy Board of Education for September 21st, 2020. This is a public meeting of the Board of Education and complies with the Ohio Department of Health stay-at-home order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Bryant. Mrs. Ellis.
Present.
Mr. Glenn.
Present.
Mr. Kilgore.
Here.
Dr. Turner.
Here. Before we go any further, do we need a microphone for Kenny to get picked up?
No, he came pretty clear.
Well, to us he did, but
Did it come through your system?
oh, okay.
Is that a mic?
All right. Then everyone please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Members have had the opportunity to look at the agenda for this evening's meeting. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as written?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Kilgore, seconded by Ms. Ellis. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Dr. Turner?
Yes. Members have also had the opportunity to see the minutes from August. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Kilgore, seconded by Mrs. Ellis. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
And Dr. Turner?
Yes. Item 6 on the agenda, 6A, is Mount Healthy Teachers Association. Was anything sent in for that? All right. 6B, communications announcements. Do you have any communications or announcements? 6C, recognitions.
Yes, we do have our 2 plaques to show tonight for our Teacher of the Year and our Support Staff Member of the Year. We recognized them on our opening day of school, and they were very excited. Our Support Staff Person of the Year is Nan Wells, and this is her plaque that she will be getting very soon. And our Teacher of the Year was Edward Delaire, and he also was recognized, and we're very proud of both of them and appreciate all of their dedication to Mount Healthy.
We are, yes. Okay. Item 7, vocational board report. Ms. Ellis.
Yes. Restart Your Future 2020 President Harry Snyder complimented Great Oak student, staff, and families on a successful start to the new school year. All have accepted the expectations of clear health, safety, and learning goals. The new Great Oaks COVID-19 dashboard was shared with board members. The dashboard provides the community the most up-to-date required reporting information. High school enrollment. Enrollment for the 2021 school year for high school students at the 4 campuses is 2920. This continues Great Oaks' positive trend of 7 consecutive years of increased high school enrollment. College Credit Plus. Great Oaks students are enrolled in 368 seats for College Credit Plus classes for fall semester. 127 are through CCP classes online, and 241 are on campus. University of Cincinnati Early IT Program. President Snyder announced a new partnership with the University of Cincinnati to provide a new pathway for Great Oaks students entering careers in information technology. Through this partnership, students at the Live Oaks Career Campus who complete specified coursework in web application and game development or IT systems and cybersecurity will be awarded college credit through UC and can gain automatic admission into UC School of Information Technology. The program is anticipated to be offered on other campuses in the coming years. U.S. Department of Labor Scaling Apprenticeship Grant. The board accepted a $25,000 grant through TechSolve. The sub-recipient for the U.S. Department of Labor Scaling Apprenticeship Grant for Great Oaks Adult Education. Adult students in full-time programs who obtain certification can now be added to the scaling apprenticeship. This will open more employment opportunities for adult students and will help recruit students desiring to earn a credential with a pathway to an apprenticeship. Public safety services. President Snyder told the board that Great Oaks was pleased to host Attorney General Dave Yost and Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy Executive Director Dwight Holcomb at the Scarlet Oaks Career Campus. A.G. Yost and Chief Holcomb addressed the Hamilton County Chiefs of Police Association and then toured the Public Safety Service, firing range, classrooms, and firehouse. Great Oaks Public Safety Service staff is working hard to position the district as a go-to regional training facility for Southwest Ohio. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Our next item is the legislative report. It's really short tonight. I'm only reporting on one new piece of legislation. That's House Bill 606, which has been signed into law by Governor DeWine. This bill protects school districts, among other public and civic entities, such as city governments, some businesses, there's a whole list, from legal action due to COVID-19. This prohibits any lawsuits for injury, death, or loss to persons or property due to the virus. And that's my whole report. So moving on, item 9, report of the treasurer, Ms. Brooks.
Thank you. Item 9A is a recommendation to accept the schedule of bills for August 2020.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Ellis, seconded by Ms. Bryant. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Yes. Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? Yes. Dr. Turner?
Yes.
Item 9B is a recommendation to accept the financial statement for August 2020.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Ellis, seconded by Ms. Bryant. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Yes. Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? Dr. Turner?
Yes.
Item 9C is a recommendation to approve invoices from the end of the year 2020 received and paid under a then and now certificate in FY21.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Ellis, seconded by Ms. Bryant. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Yes. Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? Yes. Dr. Turner?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 9B is to adopt the FY21 appropriations within the amended certificate.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Ellis, seconded by Ms. Bryant. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Yes. Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? Yes. Dr. Turner?
Yes.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10 is the superintendent's report.
Thank you.
Dr. Hawkins.
Thank you. I have a few items that I wanted to update everyone on tonight. The first is transitioning back to school. We have been in the orange now for several weeks, and we are going to start the process of transitioning our students back to school. We're starting with grades K through 6. They will transition back to school on October 1st, which, believe it or not, is a week from Thursday. So it took a few weeks to get busing set up. Jenny has worked with that, and our buses are set up and ready to roll on that date for grades K through 6. Grades 7 through 12 will start back second quarter. And the main reason for that, we've had many students that were remote and now want to be in person, or were in person and want to be remote. So the schedules are going to have to change at the quarter to accommodate all of these requests. So it would be impossible to bring them back before the quarter because of all of those changes. So they will finish the quarter and they will start back October 26th, which is the first date of second quarter. We have a flyer that was created for each building that will be posted later tonight, and it gives parents information on if they have decided they want to go remote or in person. They've made a change. They know how to get in touch with the principals so that they can make that change before that date. So we are excited that we will be having our students back in our building very shortly. So that is a big item. I did just want to let you know that Jennifer Danner will be working as a grant program manager for the Comprehensive Literacy State Development Grant. That's the grant that's almost $1.6 million. And her salary, part of that grant is that you have to have a full-time grant manager because it's such a large amount of money. So she will be working with us in that capacity. The Early Learning Center had, ground was broken, and we are progressing on that in a great way. Jenny, is there anything you want to say specifically about that?
So we're going to have our first on-site meeting with our project management team on Wednesday afternoon at 2:30. So we're all really excited to meet with them and make sure we have our construction schedule, and the weather's going to be great, so let's continue to pray for great weather.
Yes. And those are every week, and so we will be having those if ever you want to stop by and attend. It's on site at the actual learning center site. So they have a trailer there, but it will be every Wednesday at 2:30. So we are excited that we are on track, and we're hoping to have that completed and ready for our students next year. We have made some changes in some of the jobs that are at Mount Healthy. This lists a few of these jobs description. The first is our community liaison, and this is a Spanish-speaking person who will be in our registration center and then also working in our school buildings. This position is being paid for through the student engagement grant, so that we can have someone to help our families that English is not their first language. So this position was created in response to that. Our EMIS supervisor will be housed at the high school. This person will make sure that our data is entered correctly, and that will help us as a district to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our students. This position also can be linked to the continuous improvement grant, and so this salary can be paid out of that grant because it's helping us to improve our data for the district. And the third job description is for our security monitors. We have hired 5 different security monitors. All of them had previous security experience, which is fantastic, and they also can be paid out of our grant. So all of these positions will have a positive impact on our school, and it also doesn't come from our general funds, which Ms. Brooks is happy about.
Very happy.
So in relation to that, we've also developed the salary schedules.
Well, let's go ahead and.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we need to approve the job descriptions. Do I have a motion to approve those 3 job descriptions, the community liaison, the EMIS supervisor, and the security monitors?
So moved.
Kim beat you to it. So moved by Ms. Bryant, seconded by Mrs. Ellis. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Glenn? Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Dr. Turner?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. No, now we can go on to C.
Okay. The next part is the salary schedules that are linked to the different positions that we mentioned above. In addition, Missy Knight will be working with our district. The last few years, she's been working 28 hours. Now she's going to work 40 hours, and also part of that engagement, getting information out about our community. So that was a change. The junior high principal salary schedule is not changing, but the title is changing. It did say associate in the past, and we're changing the title to junior high principal. So that's the only change there.
All right, do I have a motion to adopt those salary schedules?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Bryant, seconded by Mrs. Ellis. Any discussion? Can we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? Dr. Turner?
Yes.
D is recommendation to participate in the following consolidated funding application grant, which is expanding opportunities for each child. We are looking just for each grant where we can add money for projects that doesn't have to come out of general fund.
Do I have a motion? Moved by Mr. Kilgore, seconded by Ms. Bryant. Any discussion? What does this one entail?
This actually looks at anything that there's a gap, so it meets the needs of our students. If, for instance, we have students that need other technology devices, or again, it could be computer related, it's trying to level the playing field for
Okay.
all students. So it gives us some flexibility in that area.
All right. Any further discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant?
Yes.
Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? And Dr. Turner?
Yes.
Great. E is the recommendation to participate in the following federal entitlement sub-grants. The first is Elementary and Secondary Emergency Relief Fund. That's based on our free and reduced lunch numbers, and the schools to be eligible for this had to be 100% remote for at least 5 days at the start of school. So this gave us the opportunity to get a little extra money. The Broadband Ohio Connectivity Grant, which we mentioned a couple meetings ago, we applied through that and received almost, $55,000 to go towards helping pay for technology related, specifically internet. And the Coronavirus Relief Fund Urban School District Grant, another relief amount to help us with the cost that we've incurred for the coronavirus.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Kilgore, seconded by Mrs. Ellis. Any discussion? And those are ones that we've already been approved
Yes.
for and all that.
Yes.
Excellent.
The next F is
Wait, we
Oh, I'm
didn't
sorry.
vote.
Take the vote, sorry.
Could we have a vote, please?
I know, we are
We're
like,
all here.
Is dinner waiting for you?
I know.
Ms. Bryant?
Yes.
Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? And Dr. Turner?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We just have so many great grants that we're
Mm-hmm.
going through. F is the recommendation to participate in the following competitively awarded federal sub-grants. So we did have to actually go through an application process for these grants, and we were awarded them. It's the Comprehensive State Literacy Development Grant, and that goes over multi-year, and the State Library of Ohio CARES Act mini grant.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Kilgore, seconded by Mrs. Ellis. Any discussion?
The first one is the 1.6 million, and the second one was a small one. It was 40.
3,000.
Yeah. I was thinking about
3,000 for the mini
Just
grant.
3. I was thinking it was like 4. Yeah.
Every-
Yeah,
every little bit.
definitely.
We'll
We don't
take it.
turn it down.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
Any further discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? And Dr. Turner?
Yes.
G is the recommendation to adopt the voucher joinder resolution with the Ohio Coalition for Equity and Adequacy of School Funding Office. We're joining this again. This deals with Ed Choice. So right now, they are petitioning. We are a school that could be very negatively impacted by the Ed Choice. And so we are asking our legislative bodies to keep things like they were in the past and to not allow the changes that were proposed last year.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Kilgore, seconded by Mrs. Ellis. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant?
Yes.
Mrs. Ellis? Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? And Dr. Turner?
Yes.
H is the second reading for recommended Mount Healthy Board of Education bylaw and policy changes. These are standard changes that we worked on through Neola. And 2260 is just the revised non-discrimination on the basis of sex in district programs and activities. And 3220 is the revised standards-based teacher evaluations.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Ellis, seconded by Ms. Bryant. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant?
Yes.
Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? Dr. Turner?
Yes.
I is the recommendation to accept the following donations. We had $1,000 donated by Greater Cincinnati Foundation Governing Board for STEM projects and additional EV3 Lego bots, and $500 donated by Napier Truck Driving Training Incorporated for varsity boys basketball.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Kilgore, seconded by Mrs. Ellis. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? Dr. Turner?
Yes.
The next, J, is the consent agenda, which is pretty standard. I did want to note on page 7, there's a Kelly Hawkins, and I am not related to this person at all. And there is a Richard Morris. He is not related to Matt Morris, who is the principal of our junior high. So we just wanted to make sure everybody was aware that there's no relation to those people.
Okay. Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Moved by Mrs. Ellis, seconded by Ms. Bryant. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant?
Yes.
Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore? Dr. Turner?
Yes.
That's all.
All right, thank you. Item 11, addendum to the agenda, we don't have any. 12 is special orders, we don't have any. 13, open discussion by the Board of Education. I would just like to say, and I'm going to speak on behalf of the whole board, we love it when nearly every item on the agenda revolves around somebody giving us money.
Absolutely.
This is a nice meeting, we
Yes.
like that, and we
Yes.
appreciate everybody who's contributing. Okay, yes.
Somebody asked me, if you really provide lunches during the summer for the buses and stuff, part of the lunches were taken back. What happened to those lunches?
That were returned?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'll find out.
the buses normally went to summer stops, and no kids were there at all.
During the summer distribution? Okay. I'll reach out to Frederica and email you. Sure. Yeah. Okay. I will find out.
Okay. Anybody have any other items they wish to discuss? Oh, that's true.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah,
But
that's,
since school started, I'll find out
yeah.
what
So
they
during,
do.
during the summer, we didn't use the buses to deliver food,
deliver.
only since school started.
I think some other school districts, yeah, they were delivering.
Okay.
They have been running the routes recently, so I'll find out if they come back. Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, great question. I'll find out.
Okay, item 14, our next Board of Education meeting is October 19th, 2020 at 6 p.m. It's not here on the agenda, but we also need to schedule the OSBA workshop. When we hired the Ohio School Boards Association to facilitate our superintendent search, part of what we get with that package that we pay for is a workshop for the board, for us all to learn the best practices for working with each other between the board and the superintendent. We have 6 months to use that from Dr. Hawkins' start date. So we thought now that school is sort of started and underway, we probably can move ahead with that. It's a 3-hour workshop. I'm guessing that you would all probably prefer not to do a weekend. Definitely, since it's a 3-hour workshop, we would not want to tack it on to a night of a regular board meeting because we don't want to be here till, 11 p.m. So we need to come up with a specific date. Actually, we should probably come up with several, and then I'll reach out to OSBA and give them the possibilities. I assume we would all be here in person for it, but I haven't absolutely verified that yet. So does anyone have, I can actually do that by email. That doesn't, the scheduling does not have to be in a public meeting. So if everyone's just sort of keeping that in mind, and I'll send out emails or texts, and we'll come up with a few dates to give to OSBA for that. It's not entirely my decision. It will depend on whether it'll be Steve Horton, and if he's doing it from Columbus, we might choose to just do the whole thing virtually. If he's driving down, I assume we would want to do it in person. So I'll check with him. I know that for, during most of the superintendent search, the OSBA people were not permitted to go on site anywhere. So I don't know if they've changed that or not. So I'll get to everybody, and we'll come up with some dates, but I just wanted you to be aware that we need to be scheduling that. Okay, item 14B, executive session. We need to go into executive session to discuss the employment and compensation of a public employee or school official. Do I have a motion to go into executive session for that reason?
Before that,
Yes.
on our next meeting, are we planning on meeting virtual again, or?
I think we'll keep doing it like this unless things change, if the case numbers go up in the county, or if anyone particularly wants to be virtual, can't come in, doesn't feel comfortable coming in. For right now, the law still gives us that flexibility. So I think we'll count on it being like this again. If you can't come in, we can have you phone in or something also. But
What I wanted to add was giving the public, since they're not here, to be involved, to ask questions. When we set up either someone reading questions during the live meeting, or giving them an email or phone number or something that they can still have an opportunity to be involved in a meeting.
yeah, I think
I thought we were doing that anyway.
not since we've been virtual now. I mean, if somebody had contacted one of us and asked, we would have, but probably people didn't know that. I think we could let people know that if they email something in to either Dr. Hawkins or me or to Mrs. Corner, that we'll make sure it gets read.
Can we get that added maybe to the official announcement of the meeting? So if you have questions, you can send your questions to this email or.
And maybe say,
whatever we decide.
by 3 o'clock that afternoon or something.
okay.
We don't want people emailing at 6 and then being angry that they didn't
Right.
get read.
So,
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. We hadn't been doing it. We didn't know that this whole not normal thing was going to go on as long as it has. Okay, do I have a motion to go into executive session? Okay, moved by Mr. Kilgore, seconded by Ms. Bryant. Any discussion? Could we have a vote, please?
Ms. Bryant? Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Dr. Turner?
Yes. All right, so we're going into executive session at 6:32. No official actions or votes will be taken regarding the executive session when we come back out. But we will come out to finish and adjourn this meeting when we're finished.
Did you want to go in my office? Or
Can you just pause the? Okay, we are out of executive session, and I now need a motion to adjourn. Moved by Ms. Bryant, seconded by Mrs. Ellis. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you. Okay, we're back. I'd like a motion to adjourn. Moved by Ms. Bryant, seconded by Mrs. Ellis. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. We're adjourned.